Hi guys, so I'm gonna read Fantastic Four number 53. I'm gonna try to do 3 videos today. I'm on vacation right now, so sorry if there's any noise in the background. But yeah, cause I missed some other days to do videos. Cause there was a 13-day gap or something, so I gotta make up for it. I gotta do three. Um, or at least three. I don't know if it's three or four. I might have to do four. So this is a sequel to the Black Panther story. This is going to be a long video because there is again a writers or a letter section at the end, and I'll read that. So here we go. So Fabulous Fantastic Four learn the secret of the Black Panther, the way it began. Let the dance of friendship begin. Sheesh, a bunch of Fred Astaire's they ain't. Relax, Ben. It's shorter. It's better than being shot at him. Though the Wakanda tribe lives in the tradition of their forefathers, they possess modern, super scientific wonders we can only marvel at. Jeez. Or, oh, I thought they said Marvel twice. No, never mind. I don't know what I'm. I don't know. Anyway, so there's an incredible mystery here, and only the Black Panther himself knows all the answers. They are not the ordinary native tribe they seem to be. So yeah, there's the script by Stan Lee, art by Jack Kirby, inks Joe Sennett, letter is Arnie Simic, and native dances the ballet for Bush. What is that word? Torp? I don't know. Trope. Yeah, so they're all that looks like a pair of lips and hair. I don't know if anybody else thinks that, but it looks like a pair of lips and hair. It's kind of weird. But I still don't get it. They tasked a bunch of science fiction gizmos at us that Doc Doom would have been proud of using. And now they're acting like they're all charged up on account of just inventing the wheel. Don't worry, Ben. Old Reed won't cut out of here till he gets himself some answers. A fat lot of good that'll do. Nobody be able to understand them except him. Alright, break it up. Break it up. What are you all gaping at anyway? Ain't you never seen a bashful, blue-eyed thing before? Let's go, Ben. The Black Panther is inviting us to his private quarters. Wow, what a pad. I bet even Hugh Hefner couldn't improve this on this layout. Man, if you gotta live in the jungle, this sure is the way to do it. There must be a lot of dough in Black Panther and Black Panther. Okay. Still another example of the old and new, darling. Look at that elaborate stereo music system, complete with tape recorder. Yeah, that was, well, yeah, back then that was advanced, I guess. I don't know. I just can't believe we're in the heart of the jungle. My guests and I do not wish to be disturbed. You seem puzzled by what you have seen. You shouldn't be. After all, I can afford to pamper myself, to indulge my every whim, enjoy every luxury. I'm one of the richest men in the world. Remember, I've seen, I believe you. But there's more to your story than mere wealth. You are perceptive indeed, Richards. Actually, the Black Panther lives under a tragic curse. But my tale really begins with the spear and shield of my father, T'Chaka, the warrior king. So this is explaining Black Panther's origins, this comic. Most of it. Or, I don't know, about half of it is, I don't know. But even as the dramatic Black Panther begins his revelation, two members of the Territorial Patrol come upon a staggering discovery. So I guess that I think this is referring, because back then there were still colonies, European colonies in Africa, I think, when this comic was being published. But the entire area has seemed to be ripped up, as though by giant hands. There are no animals, no birds. Every form of life has been frightened away. And these holes in the ground, impossible. It seems. They can only be tracks, the footprints of some gargantuan creature. Can it be that the rumors of the monstrous beast roaming the jungle are true? At first, I thought they were just superstition, old wives' tales to frighten little children. But now, I can almost sense the danger upon us. Hold it. Did you feel the ground tremble? As though beneath the pressure of some titanic weight? There, I felt it again. There's no doubt about it. Something is behind us. Swiftly turning, the two men recoil in mute shock at the awesome sight that greets their eyes, as they fire wildly, desperately at that which confronts them. It's like a gigantic gorilla, an unbelievable crimson anthropoid. Crack, crack. Keep firing. Our only chance is to frighten him away with our gunshots. It's too late to run. However, the gunfire of the two courageous patrolmen causes a phenomenon far different than either of them expects. Yeah, sorry I'm really nasally. I just got done... So I'm sorry to take you out of this, but I just got done I was in a swimming pool, so I'm a bit nasally. It seemed to explode right before our eyes. It's impossible, it can't be. And yet, I saw it too. This is far stranger than anything we expected. Much bigger than the two of us can handle. You're right. We've got to get back to the outpost. Report it to headquarters. Bach. Listen, behind us, that noise. Far louder than before. Perhaps the red gorilla has returned. No, look. It's even bigger than the gorilla. More powerful, more dangerous. It cannot be. There are no such beasts. It is not possible. We are going mad. I almost wish that were the answer, but we both know we see it. There is much madness here, but it does not lie with us. The giant elephant hurls trees about as though they were mere twigs, but he does not pursue us. We are virtually beneath the notice of a creature so huge. But where did it come from? And what is it? We've got to find out. We've got to learn what's happening in there. Learn how many more of those crimson monsters there are. This is the edge of Wakanda territory, or Wakanda country. Perhaps the answer lies there. And speaking of the Wakandas, it's time again to rejoin the Black Panther as he continues his narrative. My father was the greatest, wisest chieftain of all of Africa, and his skill as a hunter was second to none. Yeah. Or should it be Jan? Ben, cut that out. I can't help it. I saw this in a million jungle movies. So, I'm boring you, am I? Suppose I tell you you're sitting on $20 million. Do you mean this marble bench beneath us? I didn't even pay attention to it, but marble isn't worth that money. Look closely, Johnny. That isn't marble. You're right, Sue. It's some sort of glistening metallic ore. Say it in English, just for once. The name of that metal is vibranium. Even I know that comes from the word vibrate. What does it do, shiver up a storm when you touch it? Exactly the opposite. Irascible one. It absorbs vibrations. You might even say it swallows them. But what makes it so valuable? Don't you see, dear? It can be worth a fortune to our missile program alone. Rockets made of vibranium would never go off course due to vibrations. That is correct, Richards. Our virtually inexhaustible supply of vibranium comes from that sacred mound, which has bordered the land of the Wakandas since the dawn of time. Every Wakanda chieftain is pledged to protect the sacred vibranium with his life, just as my father was so pledged. All hail T'Chaka, guardian of the eternal peak. My father was the greatest chieftain of all, wise in counsel, just in judgment, and brave in battle. Wherever there was danger, there too was T'Chaka, always at the forefront. To me, he was more than a father, more than a warrior. To me, he was like a god. One day I shall be chieftain, father, and I shall be worthy of all you have taught me. But now it is bedtime for the littlest chieftain of all. So yeah, I guess, yeah, they don't look as advanced, like, nearly as advanced. So I guess under T'Challa, they became a lot more advanced, I guess. Look, kiddo, why don't you save yourself the trouble? I know the rest by heart. Everything was hunky-dory till the greedy ivory hunters made the scene. Ben, for the last time, will you remember that we're his guests? Don't be so concerned, Reed Richards. I realize my tale might sound contrived to you. You ain't just whistling Watusi, pal. You're talking to a guy who's seen every Tarzan movie at least a dozen times, and I can recite you half of the Jungle Boy books by heart. So your little bedtime story ain't impressing me. Let's get the punchline, huh? Things being like a real dick. He's being a dickhead in this. Yeah, I guess he is kind of right, though. It's pretty cliche, though. Or it seems to be so far. It seems to be cliche, but we'll see. That's enough, Ben. I do not mind the thing's interruption. Perhaps my tale does not follow the usual pattern, except for one thing. It was not a greedy ivory hunter that came to our land. No, it was one far more dangerous, far more evil. He called himself Claw, the master of sound, and he possessed a weapon the likes of which no man has ever seen before, a weapon which could convert sound into mass. So, I think Claw's South African in the movies he was, so I can't really do a good I'll try for like this one sentence. I'll try. The fools, they mocked me when they said the vibranium existed. But now I found it here in this jungle, and it must be mine. Yeah, that was yeah, I'm not doing Claw. Actually, I'll give him like a British. I'll try to give him like a British accent. I can't do South Africa. I can't. I've never practiced that, so I can't do that. But vibranium, the one element I need, the one element which my power, my sound transformer, so that I may change the basic energy of sound in any living form I desire. I still remember the sight of Claw, the unsmiling Claw, the merciless, ordering my father to give up our sacred mound, our precious eternal rock. You have no choice. Once I've gained possession of this world's only supply of vibranium, all the riches of the earth shall be mine. Begone. This land is ours. So speaks T'Chaka, the chieftain. Then T'Chaka shall speak no more. Gun him down. Now. It's the first time I heard the sound of gunfire. A sound I was to remember all the days of my life. Crack, crack. Father, father! They have slain T'Chaka, but his death shall be avenged. So yeah, in the comics, instead of, obviously Winter Soldier was not introduced at this point. Bucky was introduced in the 40s. If you've seen Captain America Civil War and the origin of Black Panther in that movie, T'Chaka dies, but instead of Winter Soldier or Baron Zemo was the one that did it, not Winter Soldier. But instead of him, Claw was the one that actually killed him. The one that the actor who played Gollum in Lord of the Rings played, the guy in that movie. Yeah, he was the one that killed T'Challa's father. So I, who had lived in the jungle since birth and had never seen such violence, as I beheld that moment, while the machine gun fire of Claw fell upon our warriors without mercy. We are helpless before the withering fire of the invaders. Flee, my brave ones, flee. We must live to fight another day. But, over the noise of the gunfire, one sound kept roaring in my anguished brain. The sound of a name which I would hate for all eternity. The name of Claw. I'll give his goons South African. I'll try to give his goons like South African. We got him, Claw. They're on the run. The mound is ours. It's mine alone. It belongs to Claw, only to Claw, just as the world will one day be mine. Seconds later, the firing had ceased, but the deadly silence which followed was more deafening, more fraught with dread, than all the thunder that had gone before. Father, my father! In that split second, my boyhood ended as the new chieftain of all the Wakandas was born. From this moment forth, I lived but one thought, one aim, one goal. This deed must be avenged. Claw shall pay in full measure. I shall be as strong and as fearless as the sacred Black Panther. This do I swear to T'Chaka, my father who is no more. Now I think it got retconned. It seems in this, it seems like the Black Panther is some like warrior god. He is like in the modern age, but it was a title passed down. So it's sort of implied here that T'Challa just took the name Black Panther, and there was no other one besides the sacred guy he's talking about. But it's being retconned that like the generations of T'Challa's family have been Black Panthers. So T'Chaka was a Black Panther in the modern comics, but here it seems he isn't though. But to the male Wakandan, the Black Panther represents a figurative god image and is considered to be a sacred being, as the cow is venerated in India. Religious fanatics stand. Suddenly I heard the sound of a man muttering behind me. Silently, with the seething rage in my heart, I turned. Claw would have my hide if he knew. I almost forgot the sound blaster. I better get over to him while I can. I do not know what that object is, but it shall never find its way back to the evil one. There. The first blow has been struck against Claw, the first of many that shall endlessly follow until he is being completely destroyed. Now I must hasten after him while there is still time. Finding the strange weapon surprisingly light in weight, I lifted it, carried it with me, until I had reached the gates of our village, where my eyes beheld Claw's final act of villainy. My people, fleeing for their lives, our village in flames. This is no man I seek to battle. Truly, he is evil incarnate. His presence befouls the earth upon which he stands. Drive them out. The mound of vibranium must belong to Claw. Only I am destined to be supreme. Only I am the master of sound. Without conscious thought, I aimed some object in my arms directly ahead of me, while my finger began to tighten on the trigger, as I cried, You have slain my father. You have put the torch to our village, and now you must pay. So that must be the reason, that must be the reason why it's technologically advanced, because the old village burnt down, so they built the new one out of vibranium. So that must be the reason. The sound blaster, he's about to fire it. Stop him, he doesn't know what he's doing. Too late, he detonated it. Is that Claw? It was an accident. He doesn't even know how to aim it. The shot fell short. I'll make sure to get no second chance. You little fool. You cannot realize the forces which you are tampering with. The device you hold converts sound into pure energy. In the wrong hands, it can wreak unimaginable havoc. Yours are the hands that are wrong, evil one, not mine. Look out, he's gonna fire again. The little savage won't dare, or wouldn't dare. I see you starting to squeeze your little trigger, but you are too late. This is for T'Chaka, the warrior king. My hand! Zack. Run, Claw, run. It's certain death to remain here. All he remains holds the sound blaster. But the vibranium. Actually, I'm gonna change Claw's voice. I don't know. I want him to sound threatening. I don't know. I'll make him sound like he's Australian or something. That's the best. About the vibranium. I can't go without the vibranium. You'll have to. We're not staying to dig it up for you. We want to live. You shattered my hand, lost me my men, but I'll return. The vibranium will yet be mine. That was 10 years ago. To the day. I could not then pursue him, for the shock of firing those 2 mighty bursts had drained my useful strength. But I know he will return. I can sense that time has come, and this time I shall be ready. You know, that story's plain naughty enough to be true. It is true. I sold small portions of vibranium to various scientific foundations, enabling me to amass a fortune, the equal of any on Earth. So that's how you could afford that far-out mechanized jungle of yours. That I just did it for a lark. It was a simple exercise to test my skill, for I had attended the fine universities of both hemispheres. How about your panther power? The way you see stuff and the way you see in the dark and stuff. A secret, handed down from chieftain to chieftain. We eat certain herbs and undergo rigorous rituals of which I am forbidden to speak. So yeah, that element has always been there. I think they might have mentioned that last issue too. I don't know. I can't remember, but yeah, the panther herb was always there. But why the heck did you try to trap us? I had to. You 4 were the supreme test. If I could fight you to a standstill, then I am ready for Claw. Although he has kept hidden from me all these years, I know he's planning to. Click. Wait. It has come. The long-awaited critical danger signal. Now what? What a deal. You move one of those crazy panther statues and the whole blasted wall slides back. Quiet. The sensoscope is recording the approach of a nameless menace from the direction of our sacred mound. Claw has returned. And just a short distance away, lumbering awesomely into Wakanda territory, we see a gigantic crimson gorilla, the force cannon. Fire. We must stand fast while we may. The Black Panther will be here within minutes. Woom, shoom. It is predicted that Claw, the Soundmaster, will return this day. But such a sight as this, none could have expected. What does it miss? Why does the force gun not stop him? Even as the force bolt strikes him, he seems to be gathering its energy within its body. And now, it's not possible. He took the full impact of the blow and hurled it back at us. He has demolished our advanced outpost with our own weapon. We don't know what's up, Panther, but it'll be more fun fighting with you than against you. Flame on! I've come this far with the FF. I might as well go all the way. There's no need for you to share the danger. This is a battle for the son of T'Chaka. If everyone else can be a cornball, so can I. It's clobbering time. Hence, I don't know if this is the exact order, I don't know, I'm just gonna guess what they're saying. Hence, I shall don my ritualistic garb as the Black Panther stalks again. A little action will be good for Johnny. Stop him from brooding over Crystal. Wait for me, Reed. Whatever is out there, we'll face it together. Seconds later, as the torch is first to reach the gigantic crimson monster. What can it be? It's shaped like a gorilla, but it's hairless and colored red. And look at the size of it. But then, suddenly, the fiery youth comes to a startling realization. He seems alive, but he isn't. He can't be. Every beast that lives fears my flame, but he doesn't. In that moment, look at that stretch. They must be filming the new King Kong. But who ever heard of a red, hairless gorilla? It's not a gorilla, Ben. It's something far more dangerous. What, darling? What is it? What's the difference? I'm going after him. Anything's better staying there and listening to another one of Big Dome's explanations. Ben, stay back. You can't hurt him. Look how he ignores my flame. Flame schmame. Now we'll see if he can ignore a fistful of knuckles. Nobody's making an accordion out of my little buddy. I gotta move fast. Don't tell him what he might do to the kid. But even before the onrushing battler can get within the striking range of the towering creature, the torch's own heat is suddenly magnified and hurled back at the startled thing. Whoosh! Look out, Ben. Look out. Huh? Getting hotter every second. But can't fall back now. The torch needs me. He needs me. Gotta keep moving forward. Gotta bear the heat. I'm getting closer. Now all I gotta do is land one solid sock. That's all Hey, I did it. Boom. Just in time, Benji. Your punch made me let him go. Or made him let me go. Oh. Yeah, sorry, I'm reading a lot of this wrong. Yeah, sorry about that. But before the orange-skinned clobberer can enjoy his victory, look what happens. That noise. It almost deafened me. What was that? Or what was it? Don't you know a sonic boom when you hear one, Junior? But I don't get it. It came from that oversized ape. How in thunderation did he break the sound barrier? I'll answer you later, big buddy. Right now, I want to enjoy sinking that into Susie's friendly little force field. Did you ever had the feeling you were stuck in the worst wrong nightmare? I got them, Reed, just in time. Get them down quickly, Sue. They don't know what they're fighting. What is it, darling? Some sort of giant robot? No, it's more uncanny than that. It's something that cannot exist. Rumblings in the distance, coming closer. Johnny's lapsed into unconsciousness, but he'll be alright. It's just the shock of his plane being snuffed out so suddenly. Thank heavens that's all it is. But what do we do next? Me, I feel like finding out once and for all if buffering works faster than aspirin. Quick, take cover. Something is coming. Judging by all the signs, it's something enormous. There's no place we can run to. We'll just have to stand fast and fight it. But, Reed, what is it? What was that horrible red creature? You sounded before as if you knew. I do know, but I almost wish I didn't. Whatever's heading this way, nothing's so big I can't stop him with a rock in the head. You're wasting your time, Ben. Don't you realize? It magnifies whatever strikes it. It feeds that same force back, more deadly than ever, to its own attacker. The Rock thing reminds me of like Batman the animated series, and like Killer Croc said, like I used a rock against him or something. He said I used a rock against him or something like that. That's what that reminds me of. Like Killer Croc threw a rock at him. But I don't know. Anyway, but why don't nothing hurt it? Think, Ben. How can you hurt a sound? Sound. Exactly. Don't you remember the Black Panther telling us that Claw can't call himself the master of sound? Didn't he have a method of converting sound into living matter? But even as Reed Richards begins his astounding explanation, the Black Panther, emulating his namesake, takes to the trees in search of his prey. Claw could never create his demoniacal sound monsters without the aid of many complex scientific machines. And, in all of Wakanda territory, there is but one place where such equipment could be hidden. It is there, I know, that I shall find the one I must destroy. Softly, silently, the Black Panther drops to the ground, a few minutes later, landing with the grace and ease of a true feline. This portion of my beloved jungle, laid waste by the power of Claw and his deadly creations. But from this moment on, he will destroy no more. The hidden cave, the largest in Wakanda, he could safely conceal anything within its depths. Even in the shadows, even in the gloom, he is unmistakable. I have found my quarry. First I'll dispose of these two unsuspecting guards, and then the real challenge will come, when I'm face to face with Claw at last. So, sorry about that. So I was right. It is him. That conversation must be his master conversion system for changing basic sound into living matter. At last, I'm ready to launch my main attack. For you, Claw, there shall be no more attacks. For you, there is only retribution. That voice, I last heard one like it 10 years ago, but I can never forget it. The Black Panther, the one whose name is muttered in whispers throughout Africa. I thought you were just a legend, a myth. But you do exist. I exist. I've existed, waited, planned, all this time, until this day when my father's death shall be avenged. Never. It is you who shall perish, for I am stronger now than ever before. And thanks to you, I carry a deadly weapon in place of a right hand. You back away. You can sense the power seething within the metal force glove I have created for myself. A glove which can never lose its energy, for it is activated by the slightest sound. Use it then. No matter how skillful you are, the Black Panther can dodge its impact. Time enough to ram those words down your throat later. Now, since you think your panther power can save you, I'll prove how wrong you are. Before you can make another move, I'll give you a demonstration of how fast and how deadly my sound converter can be. Click. Only Claw can instantaneously change the basic energy of sound and transform it into a simulation of any living creature. And what can be more ironic, more just, than having to meet your fate beneath the talons of another Black Panther, a far superior one. Thus, does the Master of Sound exact his final revenge. But just in case the preceding sequence was too nerve-wracking in its sheer stark intensity, we'll exercise our editorial prerogative by briefly switching scenes once more, as we rejoin the gigantic red elephant which is charging murderously towards the indomitable thing. Crash. You don't scare me, Dumbo. If you're feeling hungry, here's a king-sized peanut to chew on. But no sooner does the mountainous boulder strike the charging beast than it crumbles into 1,000 smaller fragments, ricocheting back at the dumbfounded human powerhouse. Womb. If there's one thing that really bugs me, it's a wise guy elephant. It's the ones like you that make a joke out of be kind to dumb animals weak. But I got news for you, big boy. You made one real big bad mistake. Just because I got a sweet, innocent, blue-eyed face, you thought bashful Blue Benjamin will be a pushover. But now I'm gonna... Hey, what's going on? This is crazy. It don't make sense. The more pressure I put on him, the more it hurts me. Like he's reflecting it all back. Like a mirror. Gotta let it up on him. My own strength almost finished me off. He's starting to fade away. Like some kind of ghost. But he was real. I know he was. Wyatt, the elephant's gone. See if Ben needs any help. While I lower Sue and Johnny to the ground. He seems alright, Mr. Richards. He's starting to get up. Course I'm alright. I was trying to find me a 4-leaf clover. Let go my paw, kid. I can get up on my lonesome. I wouldn't have believed anybody could battle a giant elephant to a standstill. They can't, but I ain't anybody. I must have been unconscious. What happened to Big Ben? He's alright, Johnny. He tried to tackle that crimson elephant single-handed, even though I warned him it was hopeless. You see, Ben, there are some problems that raw strength alone just won't solve. Well, if you expect to get rid of them living animal crackers by reciting poetry at them, count me out. Reed, darling, what can we do? It all seems so hopeless. The Black Panther. He's the one that holds the key to all this. But where is he? What happened to him? Reed Richards may not know what happened to the mysterious Wakanda chieftain, but we do, don't we? Roar. It isn't possible. He's out fighting my own giant panther. His speed, his strength. He's like a human panther himself. Enough. I see now that I may tarry with you no longer. It is time for my supreme weapon to be brought into play. He merely pushed a lever, and the beast is vanishing, as though he has never existed. No illusion, son of T'Chaka. I have merely reconverted him back to basic sound, and now, using my sound-powered force glove, I'll change the basic structure of your body. Then, with the Black Panther gone, I'll seize the treasure for the Wakandas. The sacred mound of vibranium will be mine, at last. Never while a tribesman lives. Then they must die, starting with you. But before the mad master of sound can activate his strange weapon, the Black Panther, moving as swiftly as his namesake, hurls the fatal power switch which his nimble fingers have been silently groping for. My converter, it's being blown apart. It has to end this way, in the name of justice. You did not realize. I am a scientist too. Thus, I could tell which lever to throw in order to overload your delicate circuits, electronic circuits. And now, only my panther speed can save me from the holocaust which is about to befall. It's over. The cave is destroyed. Never more shall the Master of Sound's uncanny monsters threaten my land. May your eternal sleep be a peaceful one, T'Chaka, my father. This day you have been avenged. At that moment, thousands of yards away, 5 pairs of startled eyes see the electrifying upheaval. That entire hill is being shattered into nothingness. What is it, Reed? What does it mean? I'm not sure, Johnny, but I have a feeling that the Black Panther is somehow responsible. The sound is deafening. It's like the end of the world. Hold me, my darling. yeah, hold me, my darling. Hey, look over there. A couple more of them refugees from Godzilla. But they're fading away. They must somehow be linked to the explosion. Whatever it is that is being destroyed must have been the thing that created them. It was Klaw who created them. Klaw, who, in his madness, learned the incredible secret of transforming sound into mass. But I destroyed his electronic equipment. It would take him a lifetime to replace it, if he survived. So that's why them naughty animals faded away. Then your mission is ended. Yes, the Master of Sound has been defeated. But somehow I cannot believe it is over. I cannot believe the Black Panther will stalk no more. Don't get all shook up, pal. Maybe the Yancey Street gang could use you. Benjamin J. Grimm. That wasn't funny. Well, you can't win them all. There's no reason for the Black Panther's career to come to an end. The world will always have need of a dedicated, powerful fighter against injustice. Reed's right, fella. The way things are going today, you never hear of a superhero being out of work. Anyway, with a costume like that, you can always become a wrestler. A wrestler? Or a new kind of folk singer. I shall do it. I shall pledge my fortune, my powers, my very life to the service of all mankind. So now Black Panther is officially a superhero. No. But even as the gallant Black Panther dedicates himself to aiding humanity, amidst the carnage and rubble of the shattered hillock, another type of dedication is about to be made. My life's work, shattered, ruined, all because of T'Chaka's son again. But by some strange quirk of fate, the Master of Sound still lives, and my converter still possesses a glimmer of energy, perhaps enough for one final transformation. There is one experiment I never dared to make. One challenge I never dared to accept. I never learned what would happen if a human altered his own basic structure via my own sound transformer. If I survive, I'll emerge with powers far different from those ever possessed by mortal man. Powers enough to enable me to destroy the accursed Black Panther. And after him, anyone else I so choose. It is not unlikely that we shall meet the Black Panther and his arch foe, Klaw, once again. But, till we do, don't miss the start of a brand new story next ish. You know how it upsets us when you're not at the beginning. Yeah, so, I'm not sure if the Klaw story, I think that might get resolved next issue, I don't know. So I'm going to read, like the last episode, I'm going to read the fan mail. And yeah, again, like last episode, it's going to be very long. It's going to be it might be over an hour. So I already read that. So, dear Stan and Jack, I just finished FF number 49 and I must say it was great. But one thing that bothers me, if Galactus is really the Star Conqueror he claims to be, why does he have a big G on his chest plate? Is the English alphabet universal? Yeah, I think I've heard that before, like aliens somehow understand English and that. I know there's some things like universal translators and that. It happens in both Marvel and DC. They both have like alien species that can know English somehow, or like another language somehow. Yeah, it is. I guess they have like some universal translator or something like that. Especially Galactus. Galactus is all powerful, so. And yeah, it is kind of tacky that the G is there, but I don't know. It's kind of cool. So Dan Maddage 21406 Simon Warren, Michigan. It is in Marveldom, Daniel. Anyway, with a name like Galactus, think how silly he would have looked with a big W on his chest. Yeah. Dear Stan and Jack, I must take back all I ever said about continuous stories. So this is I think this guy was talking last issue about this in the letters. At first, I was afraid of your becoming too sparse on plot and art. Uh, I don't know if that's a very good argument. Well, yeah, if you have a continuous story, the plot's likely to be way better. But this is proven to be completely false. Then I thought, what if the new readers pick up a copy of Fantastic Four and stop reading it because they have been tossed right into the middle of a plot? Yeah, that's actually a good argument. That is. Yeah, but well, after Fantastic Four number 49, I feel if they can't figure it out, it's because Fantastic Four is too good for them. Okay. Well, by the way, a very interesting part of your magazine is the letters page. To comment on letters, I must myself have felt that Stan's great potential shouldn't be left in the comic book field, even if one of his greatest creations is the world's greatest. When he's going to start writing full-length science fiction novels? I don't know. I'm not sure Stan Lee ever wrote he probably wrote an autobiography. It's probably an autobiography of Stan Lee. I heard one time there was going to be a movie based on Stan Lee's life, but I don't know where. I heard that like years ago and never went anywhere. So, if Stan looked back over some of the weird things he created in a few months, he might even scare himself. Remember, there's only one Stan Lee, but Irving Forbush can carry on. Irving Forbush, I think, was like a weird pen name, like inside joke, I think. I think that's what Irving Forbush was. It was like some sort of inside joke in Marvel. I remember hearing it being mentioned in like a few issues, Irving Forbush. But yeah, I'm not. I think in the comic where Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman get married, Irving Forbush is mentioned in that. It's some kind of old inside joke Stan Lee made. But yeah, Stan Lee would have his properties, of course, like made into like, I don't know, like 40 films or something, like 50 films or something like that. Yeah, I'm not sure how many films have been made of all of Stan Lee's creations. I might do that. Keep track of that one day. I might look at the films. Whether they're theatrically released or direct to video, but live action films. If Stan G stops coloring the Fantastic Four, may the Punisher change the world's greatest and your title to New York's greatest. Now to the note. Oh, Stan G's he's different. I'm stupid. Now to the notice of your greatest importance. Fantastic Four have always fought greater and more evil villains in every issue. Now that you have almost reached the top in greatness, it will be easy to decline. If this climb in the FF is to go forward, you have to face many dangers in the road of imagination. Until my stationery kit arrives, I bid farewell in fantastic success. Charles Hutler, 9 Sheridan Avenue, Kearney, New York. Never farewell, Charlie. merely see around. Anyway, why should Stan bother writing full-length sci-fic, sorry, I'm getting my tongue twisted today, sci-fic tomes when it's so much more fun paving the road to Marvel madness with our novel-length, full-color spectaculars? We're not going to be satisfied until the book writers are clamoring to write comic mags. And that day may not be as far off as you think, CB. Just you wait and see. Dear Stan and Jack, because I'm so kind, modest, supreme, and great. Anyway, I don't know. That's a pretty weird way to start it. I decided to save you from Mike Glickson's letter to Fantastic Four number 49. He says, among other things, that Black Bolt is impossible on 3 grounds. If any one of his 3 statements could be disproven, it would mean that Black Bolt is possible. I don't know what any of this means. One of those statements is that Black Bolt cannot absorb electrons as a source of power, because the absorbed electron can only give him about 1/2 of that power. Is this guy like really looking into this shit like that, really? Like, really though? It's a fucking comic book, you dumbass. Anyway. This is quite correct, except for something that no one has thought of. Suppose Black Bolt is another source of power with which to absorb the electrons, since he only gets back 1/2 of the power that he puts in. His power is reduced by half. However, he's willing to make the sacrifice. This guy is literally writing a novel on fucking Black Bolt's electrons. Yeah, okay. The form of energy which he can use. If it seems impossible to use electricity to power a human being, ? We must all be dead. It just so happens that Brooklyn College sent a lecturer to my school. He said that if 8 candy bars could be oxidized at once, they would yield 1,018,000 amps. In other words, we run on electricity. Yeah, no shit. So if you are ever told that Black Bolt is incredible, you may answer, nay, he is supremely credible. With apologies to Silver Surfer. I don't understand what that means. Off this science jazz, I want to tell you that your mags are great. Fab, gear, and good evening. I don't know what. Again, this guy's a douchebag, but anyway. If they weren't, I would never have searched, begged, and suffered to get the whole collections of all your superhero mags, plus Sergeant Fury, script of Stan Lee, the cover and art of Kirby and Sennett, even the lettering of Sammy Rosen made FF number 49 a hit. So as I eagerly await FF number 40, I say hail Irving Forbush, hail Hydra, and make mine Marvel. John Bonham, 429 Dumont Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11212. It's kind of hard to answer a letter when your eyes are so filled with tears of gratitude. Yeah, probably tears from reading that shit. But anyway, gratitude, Johnny. To think that one faithful fan, one dauntless Marvelite would go to such trouble, take such pains to prove that Black Bolt is more than a figment of our bullpen's imagination. The sense is real at such loyalty, such devotion to the cause of superheroics. But suffice it to say that King Kirby himself has nominated you to be the recipient of our Oaf Leaf Cluster No Prize. Surely no greater homage can be paid to a mere mortal. If such indeed you be, or in the immortal words of honest Irving Forbush, what'd he say? What? Dear Stan and Jack, I'm never going to send any child of mine to Metro or Empire State Universities because said institutions obviously accept only those students whose mental capacity does not exceed that of a cretin. This is her. Wait, Dennis O'Neil? Like the comic book writer Dennis O'Neil. Yeah, he wrote Batman and I think Green Arrow. If this is the same one, that's extremely interesting. So apparently Dennis O'Neil wrote. I think he passed away like a year ago. He wrote Stan Lee a letter. Apparently, I don't know. The letter kind of sucks though. But practical jokes, Stan. Petty feuds, infantile jealousies, and those heart-rending misunderstandings in college. Leader. In Trek 5 high school sophomore class. Just maybe, but a college. Please, oh shining gem of American storytellers. Enough further malign higher learning. Yeah. I'm trying to understand what he's saying. Like, the track. I guess he's talking about how, like, comic books aren't accepted in university or something. I don't know. It's a pretty stupid letter, though. I expect more from Dennis O'Neil. Well, please, oh shining gem of American storytellers, do not malign higher learning. On bended knee, we implore you, have Jack erase the May panels on which the professors are giving each other hot foots and the regents are wearing chicken inspector badges. Yeah, he wrote like a Shakespeare poem about how universities don't like comics, apparently. So Dennis O'Neil, 162 East 2nd Street, New York, New York. Okay, Denny, they're erased, expunged, and irrevocably eradicated. By the way, aren't you the same Denny O'Neil who's now... Yeah, he is. That's the same one. Same comic. He went to DC, I'm pretty sure. Who's one of the Stan's bright young assistants. Didn't Rollickin' Roy Thomas put you up to that letter? Roy Thomas, another very important... he was Stan Lee's successor as the editor. Put you up to that letter? Boy, if we don't keep our eyes on you, 2 cut-ups every second. Cheat. Okay, so I think what's happening here, it's like some sort of, again, it's another inside joke, I think. I think that's what this is, yeah. Okay. So, dear Stan and Jack, why did the illustrator, the inker, and the colorer do? I thought I knew about the first 2, but your answer to Kevin Morgan's letter in FF number 49 threw me off. By the way, I want to congratulate you on your art. That sequence where the Watcher sends torch to the Galactus' home galaxy is great. Especially the third frame on page 15, where Torch appears in negative. Keep it up. As if you're going to stop. Yeah, I agree. Jack Kirby's probably one of the great... He probably is the greatest comic book artist ever. But Mark Mendel, St. John's College, Annapolis, Maryland, 21444. Believe it or not, Mark, old Stan is answering your letter in a sunny hotel room in Palm Beach, Florida, where he's taking his first vacation in years. Some vacation, Fabulous Flo and Jolly Solly send him all the mail and assorted mishmash every day. So unfortunately, he doesn't have the copy of FF number 49, which you alluded to. But anyway, it may come as no shock to you to learn that the colorer... Now hold on to your hat. The colorer is the pussycat who colors the pages. Yeah, that's pretty obvious, yeah. We wish all your frantic fan queries were as easy to answer as yours was, Tiger. Dear Stan and Jack, wowee, that was a pretty good write-up the NY Herald Tribune gave you on the January 9th Sunday edition. Also, I just finished reading Fantastic Four number 49. It was great, stupendous, superior, startlingly stunning. As usual, it was good. There's one thing that I want to ask you, Stan. Do you really fill in the dialogue after the picture layout comes in? Hoo boy, but as always, there must be a method to the Merry Marvel's madness. FF number 49 was a cliffhanger, but how are you gonna conclude the whole thing? And only one more-ish, I hope. So this was written before 50 was written, 50 was, Fantastic Four 50 was made. The Silver Surfer is one of your most original characters I've seen. I've heard that you have recalled quite a few characters from the bygone era. So I talked about this last time. Human Torch was a character in the 40s. He was a very popular character when Marvel was Timely Comics. He was a very popular character. But he was a separate Human Torch. He was Jim Hammond. He was an android. He was supposed to be a synthetic man, and he was supposed to have a sidekick named Toro. So Toro was he was a mutant who had fire abilities. The Submariner Namor, who was originally drawn by Bill Everett. Captain America, and a couple of characters invented in 1943 or thereabouts. I read a fan letter in issue 49. So, yeah, I didn't have the fan letter columns. They weren't in the scans. Model kits. Why, that'll be the greatest thing since Stan learned how to type. Wow, he roasted him. If you answer this letter seriously without one smart remark, I will send you a brand new stainless steel tax-deductible chrome-plated one-piece, no prize, super deluxe model type. Stan, it's a no file for hacking through the bracelets to handcuff you to the typewriter. Okay, yeah. Guy Mike Michelle or Guy Michael, 548 Riverside Drive, New York, New York. Stan's not merely handcuffed to the typewriter guy, by now he is the typewriter. Anyway, if you want some serious answers, wherever they are, here it goes. Yep, the dialogue is written after the pics are drawn. It makes it more confusing that way, and wreaks havoc on the artist's nerves because they'll never know what. Sure, we've revived characters from Marvel's golden age, and sure, we're gonna soon flood the market with Aurora model kits of our historical heroes. Just be sure you buy your share, fella, because we'll be watching you. Remember, the eyes of Marvel are ever upon thee. See who says this isn't a Marvel age of serious letter answers. Dear Stan and Jack, I am pleased to announce that with your forthcoming May issues of Fantastic Four and Spidey, I have been reading and collecting these fine mags for 1 year. Therefore, I shall state all of the marvelous that's an extremely bad pun. Marvelous changes in both mags, of occurrences of both periodicals, that truly set your brand of literature apart from others. Number 1, the artwork itself is fantastic. Your soul-shattering titles such as If This Be Doomsday and the final chapter, Demone are few. And if that's not good enough, you give us covers to match the titles. But inside the book, you supply us with full-page masterpieces and combination photo drawings. Just one request, though. Please try to publish more of your fab pinups. I'm sure many of your followers, myself included, miss them. 2. The writing content, your stories, is more than might be expected of mere mortals, or even people like you. Just about the greatest thing ever to happen to Marveldom is your continued classics. Why do I call them the greatest? Mainly because if you guys have a continued story, us guys receive more of Stan's great plots, more of King Kirby's fantastic artwork, more of someone's bracks, walks, and foofs. But most of all, we received some nerve-shattering, sense-swimming, eye-catching, mind-wrecking suspense. Number 3. The Mary Marvel Marching Society, MMMS, of course, speaks for its beautiful self, so I needn't bend your ear about it. So as you plainly see, it's been a very good year. So that seems to be like, well, yeah, that's a nice letter. And it's been a dandy few minutes for us as we read your little letter, Paul. Many thanks. Dear Stan and Jack, what have you done to the Watcher in Fantastic Four number 48 and 49? If I were to judge by your illustration, you better cease watching and start doing and dieting. Yeah, the Watcher in those comics are really fat. They're really overweight. Usually the Watcher's pretty skinny. In his first appearance, he's pretty skinny. He's positively pudgy. Actually, my son and I are Marvel maniacs from way back. He agrees with Johnny that Crystal is extra special. I thought she resembled Jean of the X-Men. And Submariner is an old favorite of mine from the 40s. Yeah, they're talking about Jean Grey. Don't know how you dream up plots, but I enjoy all your stories very much. Incidentally, please add my name to the skillions who are waiting for Reed Richards to find a way for Ben to switch over to the Thing when necessary and back to Ben when danger is over. Well, yeah, that's not gonna happen. Although the way your stories have been going, he still wouldn't be Ben too often. As you no doubt have guessed, I enjoy your endeavors very much. Mrs. Sarah Dahl. This woman's married. 538 Silver Street, Manchester, New Hampshire. And as you no doubt have guessed, we enjoy your priceless privilege of having a fabulous fans like you, Mrs. D. But enough small talk. Since you mentioned it, we've got to get busy and put the Watcher on a diet. That is, as soon as we learn to pronounce the names of the extraterrestrial foods he eats. I don't know if I said the last guy. Yeah, Paul. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I said his name. Paul Kilinak, 3543 Vineland Avenue, Istabola, Ford, Ohio. I don't think I said him, so I'm sorry about that. Dear Stan and Jack, Fantastic Four number 49 was a great story, and the villains were even greater. But no, don't let Alicia fall for the Silver Surfer. One of the later issues, Thing fights Silver Surfer. By the way, where did the Surfer learn to surf at a la Waikiki Beach? I like to see the Things, Hulk, Submariner, and Spider-Man team up to fight some aliens or some super-powered villain. Yeah, I think Thing and Spider-Man had team-up titles eventually. Oh yeah, how come sometimes the Watcher is about 4 feet tall, and the other times he's a giant? Well, he has size manipulation. He's an omnipotent being. But is it because he can change his size, or are you guys making boo-boos again? Bill Duff, 507 East Main Street, Bellevue, Ohio, 44811. Thanks for giving us an out, Billy. Now we have to say is, sure, he can change his size, unless we want to tell the truth. Then we've got to own up to the fact that none of us can ever remember how big that sheet we're in Swinger is supposed to be. Dear Stan and Jack, wahoo! Only seconds ago, I was speaking to the editor of the Existential Psychiatry magazine and director of the American Ontoanalytic Association, and he said that if it were possible, he would like to publish the line from FF Annual number 3, The Impossible Man, which reads, Name, we Popians have no names. We know who we are. So Impossible Man is like Mr. Mitzpitlik He's very much like Mr. Mxyzptlk. He's like the Marvel version, basically. He's like a prankster. He can do anything. But imagine, Marvel quoted in a highly respected national psychiatry magazine, 25,000 copies distributed nationwide to the elite upper crust of America. So here we have a rare instance of cursing. I don't know what exactly is being said. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's saying the F word or fuck. I don't know what he's saying, but pardon me, I'm getting so excited that I'm beginning to become incoherent. I told him that he just had to let me write you, so here it is. My one worry is, do you think his mag is classy enough to have a quote from Marvel? Scott Palmer, Journal of American Onolatic Association. 300 number State Street, Suite 5908, Chicago, Illinois 60610. As far as we're concerned, Scotty boy, no mag is, but if we have to be quoted by somebody, might as well be an existential psychiatry pub, whatever that means. Actually, although we're trying to sound biased, we're really kind of thrilled. We just hope that what they want to do is quote us and not analyze us. Next dish, by popular demand, the guy we know is named Sam Popular demanded it. The Human Torch heads for the land of the Inhumans to free the girl known as Crystal. I think the next story is Prester John in it. But on the way, he encounters, I don't know, it's too good to tell now. But what we can tell you is the FF sort of go it alone for a while in one of the most pulse-pounding, provocative, pace-setting thrillers of this season. So if you can spare the time, why not join them? It might just turn out to be one of the most exciting experiences of your life. So that's that video. Next time we'll be reading. Sorry if I'm really quiet right now. Like I said, I'm on vacation, so I can't talk as loud as I usually do. But yeah. So next time we're gonna be reading Action Comics number 5, I think, or 6. I'm not sure. But anyway, if you guys like this video, like, comment, subscribe. If you want me to read a comic, just tell me in the comments down below. I'll see you guys later.